Can a white person or an Indian or a Chinese or a Japanese person be an African?
That's beautiful. I lived in Britain for some years. I lived in Netherlands and Utrecht for some time. I spent some time in the US. And while I was in Europe for those years, I never became a European by all practical purposes. If I can go and live in India right now, I'll never be an Indian.
6 generations later, 10 generations later.
My children can assume citizenship and stuff like that. But in all fairness, if a black man living in Sweden right now and in Germany cannot be addressed as a European, that's exactly what you're asking me. And even if he has children and they're on the paper it's written European, but are they European? You're asking the essence of identity. No, there's no white man who can become an African because there's no African who can become a European. Full stop. Not mixing my words. And that's a reality we need to start dealing with. Right now, even up to now, our black brothers that are in America, what are they called?
African Americans.
Yes. Why the suffix? Why the prefix and why the suffix?
Because the white Americans are not called Irish, Italian, Spanish.
You have your answer right there.
You spoke about violence, and one of my criticisms has always been this concept of Ubuntu and being an African is almost always anti-violence, and maybe that is one of the weaknesses we have.
No.
Sorry, I mean violence in the context of what you were saying.
I am with you. Ubuntu does not mean we did not go to war. Ubuntu does not mean we did not protect our land. Ubuntu does not mean that if someone was killed in the village there, the other village would not pick up its spears when the people have failed to atone for what they have done.
Yes.
War was inevitable. So Ubuntu is not docility. Otherwise, why are we talking about spears and shields and chants of war? Ubuntu must not be abused as a docile state of an African.
Yes.
We're bowing down. No. Ubuntu is dignity that says you respect me because I respect you.
Is it not just defense, that violence, versus, you said in America, maybe Europe, where they intentionally go out of their way? The idea right now is for Africans to reclaim Africa. No one that I've ever heard of has ever spoken of an agenda of colonizing Asia, Europe, America as an African and say, look, while they're busy having fun on our continent, maybe to attain the power they attained or to reclaim whatever power we have, we're going to send small groups to go and colonize, whether as Nigerians.
I know we spoke about this the other day, and I think many people got offended that if these white people don't change and they don't change fast, they now have educated who are equally scrupulous, equally sharp-minded like they are. And me and you, we share the same idea on that. If these guys don't change, we will wipe them off the face of the earth. All it takes right now is for me to start a campaign that says, let every black man that is there get a white woman as a second wife. Or let all the young men that are there marry white women. It takes one generation, and once they cross over that line, the white community will disappear on the face of the earth. Unfortunately, the clans, what do you call them? Clan.
The Ku Klux Klan, the KKK.
They know it. That's why
white supremacy.
That's Urania is a mild version of the KKK. It's about preservation. We don't want. But if you guys are allowed to preserve yourself, why is everyone else not allowed to preserve themselves? That's the real critical question that KKK and all those people would think that they've right. If the white people think that they own the economy of South Africa, what makes you think that the Africans also don't want to own the economy? If the white people think they own the banks, what makes you, if vets and other institutions, white institutions, think that they have a right of existence, then what makes you think that Africans also don't want the same thing? You want good cars, we want them too. You want beautiful houses, we want them too. We want our children go to school. No, we want even to build our own schools also. So this sense of I don't respect you because and again, this is where religion really messes up this thing to a level you can't understand. Because it is Christianity that taught the Afrikaner when he came here that God was cooking people in a pot. Humanity was in a pot. This is on paper.
Yeah.
The Dutch Reformed theology. So he took out the whites first. That's why they are white. The next, he took out the Indians and the coloreds. That's why they're lighter in complexion. You thought I was going to take out the blacks. Then the story says he forgot the blacks in the bottom of the pot. That's why they're bent and they're black.
Penny.
Now, then Christianity says you are a chosen nation.
Oh, the covenant.
To this group now, you are a chosen nation. Listen to dangerous verses. Wherever your foot will go, I'll give you that land. I'll send you to the land of the Gentiles who don't know, and I'll give you that land. And then the Afrikaner, when he comes into South Africa, he says, God gave us this land. And God gave them the land because the people they found on the land were pagan and did not believe in Jesus. And because they believed in Jesus and they are the children of the Most High, therefore they have power and authority over the people that are non-believers.
The Kafirs.
I want you to
Kafir is
understand.
a non-believer.
This is serious because the whole idea of apartheid is not politics, it's religion. Therefore, if you don't believe in Jesus, you don't deserve dignity, you don't deserve respect, you don't deserve land. And me who believe in Jesus, as that other white man from Harry Smith, whatever it is, spoke out blatantly.
Lord Smith.
Not Lord Smith, man. This is a pastor who does crusades there, who puts on a big hat.
Oh, Buchanan.
Yeah, spoke up and he said, only us,
The covenant.
Afrikaners and white people made a covenant with God. Oh, wow. And the rest of you, and then he'd come back a few days, of course, and apologize for religious reasons. But he had already said it, and we heard him. And by saying that the only ones with the covenant, it means that all of us, 15 million later, who don't have covenant with God, we don't have access to water, we don't have access to land, we don't have access to respect and dignity. And then the Constitution is written not for the 50 million, it's written to protect the rights of the 2 million.